Mother, tell your children not to walk my way. Tell your children not to hear my words, what they mean, what they say. Mother.
Welcome to Fuck the Media. My name is Rod. Yes, I changed the name of the podcast. Will I stick with it? I don't know. I don't know. That's where I'm at right now. Same theme music. Maybe I'll change that too. I don't know. Just did a lot of thinking about this podcast and what I'm doing when I come here to do it. And 99% of the time, my gripe, my problem, my issue is with our media. So why not just call it what it is? Fuck the media. I know that's harsh. Maybe you don't like foul language. Maybe you're a prim and proper person. I can refer to it as F the media. Maybe I should change the title of the podcast to EFF the media. You know, like the way you see it spelled online. When people are talking about things on Facebook and don't want to use the word. But I think that would go against exactly what it is that I have a problem with, and that is saying what is. Stating the obvious. That's what we all, well, I can't say we all, that's what a great majority of this country seems to have a problem with, including our media. And when I say media, I don't just mean CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, the major news networks, the major channels. I don't mean just that. I don't mean just 24-hour news cycle channels. I'm talking the media in general. And I include social media in that. It's separating our country. It's separating us as Americans from each other. It's not bringing us together. It's driving a wedge between us. And it's fueled by gutless politicians who lack the leadership to bring us together. I'll even go down the conspiratorial highway for a moment. Could be by design. How the hell do I know? I'm just a guy in a truck. I don't know. But it makes you wonder, doesn't it, sometimes? How can there be no one? No one! Of all the hundreds and hundreds of leaders in Washington, not one of them is capable of figuring out how to bring this country together and bring these two sides together. And make no mistake about it, there is two sides. Two sides. This country is divided almost exactly down the middle. Not like a time since the Civil War has it been divided the way it is right now. Which side is right? Which side is wrong? Which side is right, left, Republican, Democrat? That's where the division is. And I think if you're like me, if you're honest, intellectually honest, you see merit on both sides in certain areas. Maybe a little more in some and less than the other. And that's what makes you who you are. That's what makes you define your ideology as far as how things are. But it's really hard to do that today. We've got a media who's breathing down our neck constantly and seeking to divide us intentionally for their gains. Now, it's my position that the media slants very far to the left. And so if you come here to listen to what I've got to say, you're probably going to, pick up on the fact that I lean to the right. But I'm not a conservative and I'm not a Republican. I've shed those labels. I'm a free-thinking human being in the United States of America. I look at everything and weigh it and make a decision. Kind of like what's going on right now. Top news story. These terrorist attacks. Of course, one really close to home in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I live in North Dakota. Granted, it's not that close to me, but close enough. We don't get terrorism up here in the Great White North. We just don't. It's confined mostly to the coasts. East and West, California, New York. We don't get much of that. That's a little disconcerting. But don't get me wrong. I've never, ever for a moment thought it couldn't happen anywhere. Anywhere. Then, of course, you've got this guy who made these pressure cooker bombs and placed them in New York and New Jersey. Ahmed Khan Rahman, or whatever his name is. It doesn't matter. You've heard it a million times, like I have. Unfortunately, I don't remember how to pronounce it, nor do I care. My focus is more on what's being said in between the lines. Yes, that's the top news story, but what's the news doing with the story? Well, they're seeking to divide us more by pointing out the differences between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, left and right, because that's basically what these two individuals represent. People who think one way, people who think another way. Diametrically opposed to one another in their thinking. And what is the press doing? What is the media doing? They're talking about how we should not be profiling. We should not be racially profiling. We should not be looking at these people, these Muslims, and thinking that they are anything other than innocent until proven guilty. Okay, great, that's fine, that's good. That's not who we are as Americans. That's not our values, says Hillary Clinton. Okay, that's great. You're probably right, Hillary. That's how it's supposed to go. But guess what? I heard at least 3, if not more, security experts, ex-CIA people, ex-government people, talking today on CNN about how they were flabbergasted that this guy could go over to Pakistan, or if you are an intellectual liberal, Pakistan. Go to Pakistan and Afghanistan, Kandahar to be exact. ISIS strongholds in 2011, at that time it was Taliban, 2011 and 2014 this guy is over there. He spent a year over there. He met some broad and married her and knocked her up over there. Tried to get her over here. They still don't know where the hell she is. But these security experts couldn't figure out how it is that he got back here and was not on any terror watch list. He wasn't on, there was no suspicion of this man whatsoever, even though he had been in known terrorist strongholds for a year. Oh, he's on vacation. He's visiting family, he said. The exact quote is he gave the right answers to the screeners and people who were vetting him as he returned to the country, and it was good enough for them. Good enough. But Donald Trump calls for profiling. He didn't call for... There's another thing that I'm sick of with the media. They're adding words. He never called for racial profiling. I heard the quote. He called for profiling. I heard many of these security experts say, we have to profile. That's part of our job. We have to profile. And if anything, it would be religious profiling, not racial profiling. But yet, there it is, the media trying to mix race into all this shit. And explaining how Hillary Clinton, she's got a more calm and cool, collected approach to this. You know, we can't degrade an entire group of Muslims. We can't single out an entire religion. But guess what? That's where these terrorists are coming from. I even heard one guy say, this guy was giving commentary on what had happened in New York and New Jersey. He was on the air just to give his commentary and analysis of the bombs and how they were placed and who this guy might be. That was what he was there for, but he felt the need to interject. And you know what? Donald Trump's immigration policy wouldn't have affected this guy at all because he's already been here for years. Guess what? It would have. It would have if it had been in place how many years ago, dummy? But no one seemed to mention that fact. Yeah, it wouldn't do any good now, but what if it had been in place 10 years ago? What if it had been in place when this guy traveled abroad and an extreme vetting process took place? I know I sound like a ad for Trump 2016. Trust me, I'm not. I'm sick and tired of listening to a media that is so deplorable, despicable. And it's there for everyone to see. I heard Aaron Burnett on CNN tonight talking about this shootout that the cops had with this Ahmed Khan Rahmajini, whatever the fuck his name is. And she said the suspect then pulled out an automatic gun and returned fire at the officers. And I sat here in my truck with, I can't see myself, but I'm sure if I'd have been looking in a mirror, I would have had an incredibly perplexed, stupid look on my face. An automatic gun? Number one, what does that even mean? An automatic rifle? Was it an AK? What was it, Aaron? An automatic gun. He pulled out an automatic gun and returned fire. Then I listened a little, and I'm like, so now I'm thinking, what did this guy have? Just like some kind of big shootout? Holy shit, this dude, he was loaded for bear. Gonna have a shootout with the cops. How did he survive this? I don't get that. Well, now I get it, because he was sitting in a doorway in the rain, and he pulled out a handgun. A handgun! But she made the story sound like it was this, AK-47. Hyping up the gun thing again. That's what they do. 99% of the problem with these people in the media is they have no fucking clue. They're not educated. These are supposed to be the highly intelligent, better than everybody else. Look, I'm Anderson Cooper. I made it to CNN. I'm smart. I'm highly educated. No, you're not. You're an educated idiot. An insulated, educated idiot. And so now where are we? Now let's go to the social media aspect of this. Arguing. Now back to the Muslim ban. And we've got liberals all over the place defending Muslims. I got a question for you, liberals. Why is it that you would defend a religion that is something that you are supposedly opposed to? The subjugation of women, gays. Really? Sharia law, do you know what it is? I don't understand why you liberals absolutely have to defend Islam. Liberals will trip all over themselves to defend Islam, and they will just drop their trowel and shit on Christians. And I don't get that. But I digress. Now there's the fight on Twitter and social media, further dividing us as Americans as we argue about should there be an extreme vetting process for any Muslims who are trying to get into this country, whether they've been here, are naturalized like this idiot and left to come back, or if they're coming here for the first time. Of course there should be. Of course there should be. See, let's get something straight here. Here's where another big problem comes in. Immigration. United States of America. Ellis Island. Bring us your cold, you're tired, you're yada yada. Right? Well, guess what? My ancestors came here. Some of them came to Ellis Island. The Italian part of my heritage, they came to Ellis Island. They were WAPs, without papers. Trying to get in here without legal documentation. I had other ancestors come from other parts of the world. Germany, Norway. But regardless of where they came from or whether they had papers or not, there was one thing that they all shared. They all wanted to be Americans. They wanted to be Americans. They wanted to come here and assimilate and make life in the most exceptional country on the planet. They knew this was their best shot. Their best shot for them and their family to have the American dream. They wanted to be Americans. They did whatever it took to get here so they could be Americans. The difference with these people that are coming here, not all of them, but a large segment of them,